The mystical experience represents a profound yet elusive state of consciousness that has fascinated philosophers and spiritual seekers across time. As Alan Watts reflects in his signature contemplative style, this phenomenon strikes like an epiphany, dissolving the ego's sense of separateness and evoking a feeling of intimate unity with the world. For those immersed in this mystical realization, ordinary living suddenly seems absurd, even funny, in its harried chasing after goals. Language itself proves insufficient to fully convey the mystical encounter, which convinces through its unexpected, even whimsical onset. Yet the urge to share such vivid sensations compels those touched by the mystical to speak out passionately. Their compelling testimonies plant the seeds from which formal religions blossom. Thus, in Watts's view, mystical awakening forms the vibrant core around which humanity's theological constructs have taken shape. His philosophical insights reveal the universality of this enigmatic experience across cultures and its potential to open human eyes to life's harmonic simplicity. At the heart of the mystical encounter lies a sense of unity, both within one's own mind and with the external world. As Watts eloquently describes, the ego boundaries that normally separate us from others temporarily dissolve. The subjective sense of I merges into a vaster, interconnected whole. In this state, the world is no longer felt as foreign or alien, but intimately one's own. The everyday separation between inner and outer falls away, along with divisions between self and other, subject and object. Past, present, and future coalesce into a singular, eternal now. Language itself struggles to capture this direct realization, where ordinary logic breaks down and words feel like mere fingers pointing at the moon. Some speak of ineffable joy, limitless love, or absolute freedom, yet words inevitably fail to encapsulate the expansive dissolution of self that characterizes the mystical state. Ego loss unmasks a deeper unity animating all things. A core insight Watts returns to is the vital significance of direct experience, of living fully in the present moment. He contrasts this open, attentive presence with the tendency to rely on abstract concepts and second-hand knowledge. True wisdom, in this view, arises not from theoretical descriptions but from active engagement, from immersing oneself fully in the living current of the present moment. Watts advocates moving beyond conceptual thought to embrace unmediated sensation, beyond beliefs to encounter reality directly. Only by relinquishing expectations and preconceptions can we become fully present and awake to the world before us. This complete openness and engagement with the present leads to mystical realization, arising unprompted. When we let go of mental commentary and simply inhabit the moment, mystical awakening blooms naturally, convincingly. Thus, Watts insists that mystical wisdom unfolds not through striving, but by being, by residing in conscious presence with utmost attention. In Watts's view, the mystical experience eludes rational explication, operating outside the bounds of everyday logic. He elucidates the sense in which mysticism confounds the analytical mind, blending opposites into a seamless unity. Within the mystical encounter, notions of good and evil, self and other, even being and non-being, lose their hard edges, dissolving into each other. Subjective and objective fuse into an all-encompassing oneness beyond conceptual thought. Ordinary dualities coexist in mystical realization. Order and chaos interpenetrate, evoking an intuitive sensation of underlying harmony. For the mystic, everything appears intricately connected, woven into a cosmic design of unfathomable intelligence. All arising forms sparkle as transparent manifestations of a fundamental unity. Thus, the mystical landscape embraces paradox, transcending categorical thinking to unveil an enigmatic wholeness, resonant with wonder. Watts stresses the unplanned, unpredictable way that mystical awakening arises, welling up when least expected. He likens such experiences to hiccups, illuminating their whimsical nature. The mystical state cannot be manufactured or achieved through sheer discipline. It comes as a gift, not a goal. Watts argues that the more we strain after mystical realization, the further it recedes. There is no technique, ritual, or mindset that reliably conjures the mystical. At best, we can cultivate openness through practices like meditation, surrendering control while remaining exquisitely receptive. Yet the mystical ultimately blossoms by grace alone, unbidden. We do not summon mystical awareness. When conditions ripen mysteriously, it finds us. Like flowers opening their petals, we can only relax into receptivity, greeting mystical realization with wonder when it arrives on its own fertile schedule. As Watts explores, those blessed by profound mystical encounters often feel impelled to share their revelations, igniting religious movements. Their passionate testimonies attract followers seeking similar awakening. To guide others toward mystical realization, practices and rituals arise. Gradually, the original spontaneous experience becomes codified into complex theological frameworks. New converts may come to know only scriptures and ceremonies, missing the living truth found at the source. Much gets lost in translation. The ineffable directness of mysticism evaporates once captured in language and ritual form. The simple profundity of present-moment awareness becomes obscured by concepts and trappings. Yet if we peel away accumulated layers, the mystical core remains, accessible to all through the immediate experience of being here and now. By returning to direct encounter instead of relying on handed-down approximations, we can each rediscover mysticism afresh. Alan Watts's explorations of mysticism continue to resonate through his singular ability to articulate its indescribable essence. He conveys the profound yet elusive nature of unitary consciousness with eloquence and depth, bringing the mystical vividly to life. Watts insists on the universality of this experience, accessible to all since it springs from our shared ground of being. His work illuminates a pathway back to our intrinsic unity, exploring practices that unravel habitual separations. Watts invites us to move beyond conceptual frameworks and return to the simple wonder of living presence. His penetrating insights unveil the mystic in the mundane, showing ways to recognize the sacred in each moment. At its core, his message reassures us of an abiding harmony at the heart of reality, waiting to be realized anew. Watts's contemplative reflections point toward the peace and understanding that blossoms when we transcend surface divisions to embrace the whole.